I took a break and Fig was taking a nap. That's so adorable. All right, I thought I would show this. This is the catalog of the American Academy of Art. Look at 1988 to 1989. So that's when I went after high school. So this was the catalog how the American Academy used to be. It was definitely more of an illustration, and this was the building. This is the building on Michigan Avenue, literally right across the street from the Art Institute. We were on the 16th floor, so it was, I don't know if it was those buildings or right at the very bottom, but the classrooms would look right down. We could look out over the lions. This is what the life drawing room, I think this is Mr. Parks's room. This is what it looked like. You'd have a low bench, a middle bench, and a high bench, and we would all just sort of fan around, and that's what life drawing was. It was an office building, so you'd get off the elevator, and then you would see artwork that the teachers would put up from like their star students. Hi, Theo. Theo's come back. So this is my spare bedroom. I'm trying to clean it out. They were really big into photography. They had some like key line paste up stuff that I would, oh, there's Mr. Smithskevich. This was the oil painting room. So it was in a line this way and a line that way, and the model would be right there. He was obviously doing a demo. Mr. Smithskevich. Irving Shapiro was the president when I first went. And I mean, I kept this out of, you know, kind of, I guess, sentimentality, but I just don't need it anymore. But I think Scott is in here a few places. So they would, you know, have advertising. You know, this is kind of before illustration and advertising really went the way of, you know, computer graphics and digital and all that stuff. And they, you know, the classes would teach you a lot of this stuff. You know, the ballpoint, the little pen stuff, the pointillism, these type of things. How to do movie posters, because Thomas Blackshear had photography. Thomas Blackshear had gone to the American Academy in the 70s. So, and he was kind of famous because he had done really famous movie posters. Oh my God. Oh my God. I never get them in the act. Oh, it's so adorable. Isn't Theo yummy? Oh my God, I want to sleep in his tummy. I mean, this is the best. You go, Fig. You eat, Theo. I give you permission. Computer graphics. So this is a pastel that Scott did. Now, Scott doesn't like to do pastels. He says the chalk really makes him sneeze and stuff, but this is kind of how they would teach pastel. It was a lot of crosshatch, and that was like a model that used to pose all the time. Yeah, you know, this is how they would do the pastels back then. And the quick sketch, I think that's Rommel de la Torre, I think. I don't know. I shouldn't say. This is a painting that someone did. I don't know who they did it because they don't tell us, but that's Nancy. And that's Scott right there, the one with the dark curly hair. Oh my God, you can totally tell Nancy. She used to French braid her hair all the time. This is one of Scott's paintings. And that's one of Scott's oil paintings. And that's one of Scott's paintings. So they have 3 of his on this page. He was a little bit of a boy wonder. Very traditional style, but you know, when you can see like a guy's like 20 years old, how good he was. So very impressive. And then watercolor was a big thing because Irving Shapiro was a really well-known watercolorist. So when I went to the American Academy, you guys, it was $400 a year. Yep. I lived at home, took the L downtown, and there you go. Yep, 122 South Michigan Avenue. They moved. After I left, they got bought out, and they moved down Michigan Avenue, and they've been above Utrecht, so it's a little bit more south for years. In the garbage. 1988. So when Scott and Nancy were still in school, they would enter this annual Society of Illustrators competition, Illustrators, in New York. And it was a big deal. Scott, I can't remember if he won first place or second place, but it was a big deal when he, got his prize. Oh, that's Scott's. So that looks like pastel. I don't think that's colored pencil. I think that's pastel. So interesting. Like, what happened to that piece? Like, where is that? Let me see. Oh, yeah, he won a $1,500 award. And so back then, that was a huge deal for Scott. And he traveled to New York, and him and Nancy, I think Nancy entered it too. So let's see if she's in here. Oh, this is another butterscotch. So this is an oil painting that he did. I don't think it was an actual black and white oil painting. I think that I don't think so. I'm assuming that it would be more browns, but that's one of Scott's. I'm sure he would have sold that like at the palette and chisel auctions and stuff. Isn't this fun? You just go, well, what is in here? What is in here? Oh, that's Nancy's. I thought that was. I was looking at that closer and I'm like, so Nancy Guzik. All right. Yeah, that wasn't in black and white. I think probably they just chose certain pieces just to be put in black and white. But I think Nancy and Scott went to New York to get their prizes. It was a big, big deal. But I don't even know if they still do this now. I don't think that okay. There you go. Oh, they're kind of freaking out. I hear little squeaks. Annual scholarship competition. So Art Talk was actually printed on newspaper. This was obviously an article. Art Talk, what year was this? Artist couples describe what's similar, different in chosen profession. Does that make sense? So this was a painting Scott did from India. And that is a painting that we had of a model come in. We had bought these costumes from Prague. And then I was so influenced by the Russians, and I think Philip Malavin, and he had a pose like that. So I posed my model with that double light. He said, she said, do I even need to read this? Probably not. Oh, well, look at, there's Sherry McGraw and David LaFell. Oh my God, they're really... And then here's Nancy Guzik and Richard Smith. And this is a painting Richard did of Nancy. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's pretty much an honor to be in here. Terry Kelly Moyers and Sandy Scott. She's beautiful. We have some of her sculptures. So anyways, this kind of stopped, I don't know how long ago, but a long time ago. And, they're not really acid-free, so it's hard to keep these, and there's really no reason. But now that I've shown it to you, I can throw that out. Yay! Another American Miniatures, Settlers West. I have to be in one of these catalogs. Why else would I have saved it? What year is this? 2001. Oh, there's me in situ. And Sherry McGraw. It's fun just to look at work and see how people have evolved over time or what they were doing. Howard Turkning. Okay, Pinot. Oh, there's Morgan Weissling. Oh my God, there's mine. It came out very red. It was not as red. This was a painting we did from our trip to China. I did it, from a photograph of two women. I think Karen, or somewhere near Kunming, the city of Kunming. That was a 10 by 10. Oh, Tim Lawson. That's nice. I'm assuming... Oh, Benita Roberts. Kitty. I'm assuming Scott's in here. Oh, there he is. So, yep. So that's from China also. That's from Guilin. 10 by 10 and a half. So, yeah, that's musicians that we saw in a park. We happened to just be walking through a park. And in this gazebo, there was all these musicians. It was pretty much, that was their job, I guess, just to play music for the public. Okay. All right, don't need to keep that. Western Rendezvous of Art Catalogs. I do not want to keep these. 2001. Ooh, Carolyn Anderson. Really nice. She's so distinctive. So this painting that Scott did this was from China also. Like the Native Americans of our own country, the various minority groups in the Yunnan province of China each have their own distinctive language and dress. And that actually, where is that photo? No, that's a photo of his studio when we moved here. He's painting boats from Europe in that photo. But yeah, that is a gorgeous painting, a 30 by 40. Stunner. And let's see, I'm obviously in this. Oh, there I am. Oh, look at that picture. That's actually a pretty good photo of me. You know, takes away all the details. So this was a painting I actually did of Chinatown from New York. So this was only like a 10 by 14, and it's called Chinatown. We went to New York, and we just, you know, took some photos of street scenes. And so that is one of my paintings. It's amazing to see a 10 by 14 and a 30 by 40 in the same kind of catalog. You know, you can definitely see my brushstrokes more because my painting is smaller. And Scott's was big, so everything gets kind of shrunk down. But there's my painting. Don't need to keep that anymore. Another Western Rendezvous of 2002. I thought I would just jump to our pictures. Oh, here we go. So this was a pretty big one for me, 40 by 24. To be honest, that's pretty big. So this was a better reproduction of that one that was in that newspaper art talk. And this was Scott. So this is the same model that I had in my painting. And these are costumes or outfits that we bought from Prague. We bought a bunch of different ones. And Scott's is 44 by 32. And this was always one of my favorites of Scott's. That double light. We met this girl in the foreground. She was a waitress at a local restaurant. And we did a whole bunch of paintings of her. And Kate was a model we just found from other artists in town. I think she was a student somewhere. But she was a great model. So those were our two paintings in 2002. November 20th, 1999, another Settlers West. And I flipped through it and saw this was Scott's painting. I look at the price too, and I think, you know, it's funny because that was literally about 25 years ago. And so $3,000 for a 16 by 20. So these were, I think, from Kunming, Yunnan province in China. That was a really intense trip for us. We went in 1999. Yeah, and I don't think that there's anything, I mean, I wasn't in the show. So, oh, there's Kenneth Riley. I'll just flip through. Yeah, no, just really, it's more about Scott and me. Okay. Anne Hughes was an excellent gallery for us. It started off, actually, where did it start off? I think it started off in Fredericksburg, and then Anne got a partner, so it was called Hamdi Hughes. Or maybe it was Hamdi Hughes first, and then it turned into Ann Hughes when she went into Dallas. But Scott and I had a few shows there, and we loved Anne and her daughter. And I was just showing, this is one of her catalogs, and this is one of Scott's paintings. So this is my home studio. This is my north window here, and we had a model. And this is one of these scarf. Oh my gosh, she's wearing that dress that I showed in the other video that I was donating, that I had still in a box. That was one of the wedding dresses, I can tell. And then we had these sari fabrics that we had bought when we lived in Chicago. And so you see how we just made the sari into a skirt and then put that over? Oh my gosh, memories. Oh my gosh, that's a Sandy Scott owl sculpture that we have. Anyways, I mean, we don't need to keep this, but it's just fun to document. Miniature show, 1999. There used to be so many miniature shows. And let me quickly see. I'm assuming we have this because of Scott. Oh, that's me. Oh my God. So those were some kids that we hired when we first kind of moved here. And boy, very strong under warm light. I think the picture, obviously, when you get these catalogs, they just come out too warm anyways, you know. It was always very, very hard to get a great reproduction, but that is a 9x12. So, yep, that's my piece. Northwest Rendezvous 2000. This is a painting that Scott did from China. I just loved these that he did from China. This is a 30x16. It says the Naxi ethnic group that live in the upper regions of the Yangtze River. Yeah. No, he was so good at this. I mean, he's still so good, but he's experimenting so much that you just go, holy cow. You know, how art changes, right? So that's, I think, my piece. Oh my God. So this is a piece, you guys, this is a story. So this is actually pretty big for me. This is 30x48. I used to paint so much bigger. I think I got too much fear and I just don't paint big anymore. I did have this woman pose in my home studio, and it's one of those actually it was a wedding dress that Scott and I bought from a resale shop. But we just had other costumes, and she was, you know, kind of this, seamstress. And she lived north of us, I think somewhere in like Mount Airy or Pilot Mountain. And she was the granddaughter of that famous actor, (1993) White Oak Gallery in Edina, Minnesota. That was like a really good gallery for Scott and me. And they would have this miniature show once a year. And there is the painting Scott did. I mean, it came out way too dark inside his catalog. But a little girl playing the violin. And I just did a quick little glance, and here's Richard's little rabbits, like a monotone oil wash. It's fun to see what has been, you know, what's in these things, but gosh, 1993. I don't know the very first year that we were both in Western Rendezvous. Yeah, and it was really no reason why I was invited. I was looking through here. Gosh, look at that photo of me. I don't even remember taking that. Sue Lyon. But this was a small painting I did. Oh, is this an 8x10? No, is it really? Gosh, that's tiny. The one thing that I do notice, and you can even tell from this photo, obviously the reproduction is way too dark, but look at how white and glowing the whites of the eyes are. That is kind of a pet peeve of mine, is that when people make the whites of the eyes too white, and I think I've always remembered this. I've always remembered doing that. And so I kind of I regret it. It's like, I would like to know who owns this and come to this painting with a bitty brush and push those whites of the eyes back. Yeah. Oh, I'm right next to Walter Matthia. That's fascinating. Because, yeah, I guess there's nobody in between. Usually I'm next to Kevin McPherson or Hui Han or other people. Here's Kwong. Here's one of his paintings. Let's go back to Scott. Oh, this painting came out way too warm also, but it's the exact same model that I painted. Her name was Patricia. We just found her at a restaurant locally. Oh, there's the picture of Scott. Yep, looks so young. And so this must be, I don't know if this was our first or second year, but yeah, that's Scott's painting. Fig, are you trying to figure out if you can sleep with Theo? Oh, yeah. Helping me out with my computer stuff. Yeah. So sweet. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are gonna snuggle. Yeah, I can see it. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so, yes. Be gentle, Theo. Be gentle. Yes. Oh, Fig, are you playing dead? Aw.